What's going on, rock stars? It is the end of the month. It is the end of the month, and you get to choose. You get to choose. Rock stars, we're going to talk about this concept of mediocrity or excellence. Which one do you choose, and who do you want to be? And before I get into this training and these concepts of mediocrity versus excellence, I want to let you know that the top bonus challenge is beginning and we are just a couple days away from starting. People are piling in now. So join the top bonus challenge at toplevelbonus.com and let's talk about, or one of the links around here to learn more, and we'll get you in there having one of the, hopefully and ideally, and like hundreds and soon to be thousands of others, the best year, or best month rather, of their career. All right, rock stars, let's talk about it. It's the end of the month, and here's what happens at the end of the month. And the crazy thing about it right now, let me know who you are as you come in. I gotta see you. I've got to know who you are and where you're coming in from. And if it's the first time, if you're catching this live, rather, type hashtag live. If you're catching a replay, type hashtag replay. And if you've never been here before, let us know that you're new by typing new. So rock stars, it's the end of the month, and it's actually the end, October, November, December. We are going into the final stretch, the last quarter at the end of this month, right? You'll be going into the final quarter. Hey guys, and here's what that means. You get to choose how you end not only the month, but also the year. And when we look at ending the month and ending the year, I want you to do a little introspection right now. Do a little self-introspection. Are you where you want to be? And when I ask that question, what I mean is, are you where you want to be in sales? Yes or no? And are you where you want to be at this point in the year, right? So of course we could always do better, but do you feel like I'm happy with where I'm at right now? Or are you desiring to be somewhere else, somewhere further along? And I always coach my coaching clients to do that throughout the month. Like pick 3 different times of the month that you do a self-check. The first time that you do a self-check is on going into the first of the month. So the end of the month on the 31st or the 30th of the month. Self-check. Right? You look at your wins, you look at where you won, you look at what you could have improved upon, and you get really clear on what you want to create for the next month. The second self-check happens on what I believe should be like kind of not quite midway through the month, but the 15th of the month is a really great one. Actually, yeah, 15th, and some people do the 21st of the month as a nice self-check. And then at the end of the month, okay? So that helps us determine where we are in terms of our goals. Now, why am I talking about mediocrity? So I'm going to tell you a little story about what happened a couple days ago, and it blew my mind, totally blew my mind, when I was talking to someone who happens to be in my family, and hopefully he's not watching, but he said this one thing. He's asking me about my coaching business, and we start talking about this concept of excellence, creating excellence in life, creating excellence in sales and business, and just in life, period, relationships, all of that. And he says, well, how do you know the difference between mediocrity and success? I was like, what an interesting question. And I said, well, the first thing that I would ask you is, what does success mean to you? Because my definition of success is not your definition of success. I was saying to him, he said, yeah, I get that. He's like, you're giving me the coach answer. And that's true though, right? And then we started talking about mediocrity, and he mentioned something really profound that really took me by surprise. Now, mind you, he's a cardiologist, okay? So would y'all agree that a cardiologist probably isn't average in mindset, in intelligence, in skill set, perhaps even all of that, right? Cardiologist, keeps people alive. And he said, I'm mediocre. I was like, huh? He says, I believe I'm mediocre. I have created a really mediocre life. And I got to tell you guys, I was totally blown away. I was like, what an odd thing to say. Why are you mediocre? And he says, look, when I compare myself to other people in the industry, there's things that they're doing that I wish I was doing. There's things that that are put into my space that I see, yeah, I could do that, but then I don't do that thing. And I go back to, my life that's comfortable. I say, of course, because it's comfortable for you, right? It's comfortable. And we started talking about mediocrity, and he asked me, well, how do you go from being mediocre to being in excellence? And I said, well, you bring up a good point, and here's the number one factor with that. Okay, it's not intelligence, it's not skill set necessarily. But the one thing that really is a contributing factor between being mediocre and living a life of excellence, just really being at this sounds so cliche, but your highest potential, whatever the heck that means, right? Your highest potential. And it's being in an environment, putting yourself into an environment of excellence. And the problem is that most people put ourselves into an environment that keeps us suppressed. It holds us down in many ways because the thinking of other people in our environment is often contagious. Who knows what I mean? Drop a 1 if you know what I mean by the stinking thinking, they often say. The stinking thinking is often contagious. And when you have people in your environment, your current, let's just call it circle of influence, that are negative, that are complainers, that are always looking for the thing that's not going right at work or in life, we all know them. You guys know some negative Nellies, let's just call them. Who comes up with these things? Negative Nellies, right? We know those people. Are those people successful by and large? Would you guys say yes or no? Are those people the 1%? Are those people consistently producing outcomes of excellence monthly and daily for that matter? Probably not, right? I'm sure they are not. And I'm taking you back for just a moment. This is like the story within the story. And one time I remember one of my friends who I just got off an RV with, we were at Burning Man together, and we were traveling the country just last week in a massive RV. And I remember when Rhonda says to me, I was saying something and I was complaining. And she said, stop complaining. Like, successful people don't complain. I was like, what? That's crazy. And it shocked me because she was right. She is right. And I never thought of myself as a negative person, you guys. This was several years ago, probably 5 years ago. I never thought of myself as a successful person until, a complaining. I did think of myself as, a positive person. I never thought of myself as a complainer until that moment. And that was a moment of self-awareness for me. I was like, holy cow, she just caught me doing something that I actually do often, which was complain. But I always thought I was a positive person. I know, crazy, right? Like, how often do we think of ourselves in a certain way, but you're like, I think I'm this way. And the reality is, no, you are not. And I realized that was the exact reason why I put myself in the environment of people who are performing better than me, why I put myself in the environment of people who are thinking greater than me. And one of the things that I talk about often is being the dumbest person in the room. I always strive to be the dumbest person in the room. I want everybody else to be brilliant, creative minds that are making me feel dumb, because I get to choose if I feel dumb or not. But the bottom line is that if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong freaking room. Environment is critical to living a life of excellence. The environment that you surround yourself with, the company that you keep. Guys, I'm not telling you anything new, but it is what is common knowledge, as they say, is not always common practice. And if you're in an environment, meaning the people who are filling your head with stuff all day, usually your coworkers, if you're letting them, remember, how many of them are actually performing well and consistently well? that much, right? How many of them are actually consistently hitting top bonuses? That many. 1 to 2, maybe a few more, depending on how big your site is. Yet everybody else, who agrees? Everybody else has words of wisdom for you. Everybody else has something to say about the board being kinked. Everybody else has something to say about the manager who's doing something. What are you hearing on your floor right now? Drop it in the comments below. I'm super curious to hear what's the talk of your sales site. And is that talk got your distraction off? Has it got your your focus off? Probably distracted, right? Has that talk of the office got you thinking that there's not enough tours, there's not quality tours, that there's not enough to go around, that maybe you cannot see your way to the top because of all of these conversations happening? So first of all, first thing I want to say to that is stop it. You guys seen that play? That is it Bob Newhart? Who is it? Bob Newhart, I think. Stop it, that play, right? Or that skit from years ago. Yes, stop it. Stop listening. Stop listening to these people. Stop listening to them. Put your ear, like literally come in with I was gonna call them earmuffs. What are they called? Headphones. Come in with headphones daily. Excuse yourself from the conversation. Hand up in the face if it needs to be. I'll never forget a conversation with one of our 1%ers, Danielle Giancola, who was on a roll. She was on a roll. She was in the Top Bonus Challenge, I believe, 2 months ago. It was June, I believe, or July, and had a massive mental breakthrough. Massive mental breakthrough. It was like, you can see her testimonial on the page of the top level bonus. It was incredible. She was stuck. This was somebody who was incredibly, had the record year of her career last year, $3.5 million, hit legend status at Wyndham, rocking it out, and had a massive mental block. And she admits to it. She's like, I don't know what was going on. She ended up joining the challenge. And there was a moment in the challenge that she had a massive epiphany, that she realized there was something that she allowed herself to put in her head, a story that she told herself. Guys, this story was so powerful that it literally sabotaged her the entire year, her success. She told herself she could take the pedal off the gas. Oh, I arrived. I hit legend status. I can back off now. Oh no. And sorry, did I lose you guys? No, I didn't. Okay. My computer's acting up on me. And she took her subconscious mind believed that. She said, oh, I get to chill now. I'm a legend now. I can just chill. Your subconscious mind will take everything you say seriously, literally. And it created just that, her worst year of her career up until 2 months ago. Okay. She joined the challenge. Boom. Everything changed. She sold over $300,000. Okay. And this past month as well, I think it was almost 300, something crazy, amazing. And there's stories that we tell ourselves. And here's the thing that people don't realize about these stories. These stories come from people around you who fill your head with the stories that they want you to believe. And the stories that you are subconsciously taking in, you're not consciously taking them, you're subconsciously taking them in. This is key, because if you're not aware of what you're taking in subconsciously, guess what happens? You begin to make it a belief system. You hear words from somebody else, oh, those type of tours don't buy. And subconsciously you say, oh, those type of tours don't buy. And then guess what happens? Those tours don't buy from you, because you now own the story and belief. Who gets what I'm talking about? Drop a yes or a no or a you're crazy below. It's okay if you think I'm crazy. At some point, we realize that there is truth to the stories, that the fact that there are stories in our mind and they do hold us back. And I know when I realized that in my own life, it really changed everything for me. When you can get in touch with the stories that are happening in here, you also realize that those people, while they may be nice, while they may be fun to drink with and, have fun with outside of work, they're not getting you paid. They're holding you back. They're holding you back. And if you want to break through the ceiling that you've put on top of your head, self-imposed ceiling is what it is, because of the stories and the beliefs that you have right now. You've got to put yourself in a different environment, into a different circle of influence that allows for you to shift those beliefs to a new level, from mediocrity to excellence, right? Because excellent people have excellent thoughts. Mediocre people have mediocre thoughts. And sure, you can say, oh, that's so rude, Joni, you're calling these people mediocre. Look, I always say, not everybody's meant to be the 1%. Not everybody wants to be the 1%. I'm going to irritate some people right now, and that's okay. Not everybody wants to be the 1%. Many people are totally okay with the status quo. That family member I told you about, who's a cardiologist, who thinks who admitted or said he's mediocre, guess what? He probably is. You want to know how? These are moving a lot. You want to know how? Because just because he's attained a certain level of quote unquote societal success, whatever that means, he's a cardiologist or a cardiac surgeon or something like that, right? Just because of that doesn't mean there wasn't another level of excellence to achieve, to strive towards. Who gets what I'm saying? Drop a 1 below. There's always another level of excellence. You have the ability to cap your excellence and to be mediocre if you choose to. You can end your month mediocre, or you can end your month in excellence. And guess what the number one contributing factor to that is? Anybody? I can't see any comments. Can you guys leave me some comments? I'm gonna check on my phone. Guess what the number one contributing factor is? You know what it is? I read all your comments, by the way, and I write you back. It is the beliefs and stories, the beliefs. The stories lead to your beliefs, but it's the beliefs that you have. Your beliefs of whether you can do this determine whether you will do it. Your belief that you can't do it means you won't do it. So some of you guys have saw me post on Instagrams the story that I did 2 days ago, maybe 3 now, on one of my coaching clients, Asia Ramirez, who went from $0 in her month. She had a deal cancel, put her at 0. On the 12th of the month, she went in on the morning of the 13th at $0. The last month of her fiscal year, the last month of her President's Club qualifying year, all of that. Now, who would be a little concerned? I would. I admit it. I would totally be concerned. And she said, consciously, I'm concerned. My conscious mind says I'm concerned. It says you should be concerned. It says you should be freaked the you know what out right now. That's what she's like, you should be freaked the you know what right now. But she says, my subconscious mind, because I always teach them to build a relationship with their subconscious mind, because that's the part of your mind that gets the outcomes you want or sabotages you from ever reaching them. We talk about this in the top bonus challenge, by the way. And that part of your mind, if you don't have a relationship with it, you will let it, run all over you. But this was the interesting thing, guys. Her subconscious mind was calm. Her conscious mind was freaking the you know what out. And I said, ooh, that's a beautiful thing. Because usually it's your conscious mind's like, I got this. And your subconscious mind's like, no, you don't. You're not good enough. You're not worthy enough. You're not this enough. You're not that enough. You're poor. You're this. You have no money in your bank account. You've never hit a top bonus month. You can't even write a deal. You're at 0% close for them. You know all that stuff. Who gets what I'm saying? But hers was the opposite. Guess what she did? A little bit of coaching nuggets. She goes in, sells an $86,000 deal the next day from 0. To top that off, the next day, she writes a $91,000 deal. Let me ask you this. How many of you believe it's possible for you to go from 0 to $177,000 within a 24-hour period? I believe that it's possible for you. And I believe that you can attach yourself to that outcome. You can create that for yourself in your life. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And do you think that that changed her world? Of course it did. That level of just simply the level of belief that, what? I just get to allow this to happen. And she stepped back, because here's what happens at the end of the month, right? It's the end of the month push, it's the end of the quarter push. And pretty much if you're not on it, it's the end of the year push. If you're at Wyndham, it's the end of the year push, because this is your last 2 weeks to show that you know what up. If you're at other companies, you may have a few months to end your year, but guess what? You don't get paid on the fiscal year. You get paid on a calendar year, right? And if you don't realize that sometimes it's not about pushing. This industry can be really, I got to watch my words here. But there's a huge expectation that at the end of the month, it means push. I'd like to challenge you to think of it differently. I'd like to challenge you to think of it as, what if I allowed myself to achieve the outcomes and the goals that I desire, rather than pushing, simply allowing. Hear what I mean by that. Like, there's a nuance in that. When you push, you resist. What you push persists. What you resist persists, okay? What you push, did I say that right? What you push persists, right? So if you're pushing and you're forcing, it's like you will continue to get forced back. What you push resists back, okay? Think of it from just a physics perspective. What you allow flows. What you allow flows. Now, you have to know what outcomes you want to achieve. You have to know what it is that you are intending to create, what your goals are, and all of that stuff in order to create it. Stuff sounds very vague, but you get my point. You have to have clear outcomes. And when you have clear outcomes and you align your conscious mind with your subconscious mind, and you get out of your way, and you do, get those people out of your way too. Put yourself in an environment that's not mediocre, but that's filled with excellence. When you do that, cut the people out who aren't serving you. Tell them thank you, but you're not paying my bills. Tell them I appreciate what you have to say, but we can talk about it after work. Or can't talk about this, got to keep my head straight. Or I'm busy, heads down, I'm working, I'm studying, I'm focused. It's okay to be that person. I wasn't the nicest person to work with, I'm sure. I'm serious. I'm sure I wasn't the nicest person to work with. But guess what? I got stuff. I was going to swear. I got shit done. Let's just do it. I got shit done. Why? Because if you're not running your business like a business, you're running it like a hobby. And if you're running your quote unquote business like a hobby, you're going to get hobby results. I hope that you have the ability right now to decide what you want to create from now until the end of the month. Own it, meaning know and believe that it's happening, and then put yourself in an environment to achieve it. Block out the naysayers, have a plan, and focus only on that plan. And be like my client Asia in the 1% in our mastermind. $0. It doesn't matter. The writing doesn't have to be on the wall. She still stayed connected to that vision and allowed it to flow. So if I told her, you have the ability to totally sabotage this month right now, or you can simply allow it to blossom. But the fact that you consciously are saying, I should be freaking out, but subconsciously you believe you're at calm and at peace and you already own the outcome, that is what you're going to get, is you're going to allow those deals to flow in. Next day, 86K. The day after that, 91K. Haven't checked in with her today yet, but I know it's a beautiful thing that's in the process of happening right now. From 0 to 400K, if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. That was the first day before she went out and did it again, even bigger. Rock stars, join us, put yourself in an environment of excellence. The Top Bonus Challenge is filled only with people who truly have a mindset of excellence, who are hungry for the top, who are excited and positive. The energy in there is freaking magnetic. There is nothing like it anywhere. And you get the choice and the ability to say, okay, what if I did? What would happen if I did do this and I showed up and I took the coaching and the training and watched the videos on your own time or whenever. We go live. There's a huge live component to it. And there's also some recorded videos as well. What would happen if, in trainings and memos and this community that's just incredible, you don't get it everywhere. Not every sales office has this vibe, this positivity, and we share wins, we share best practices. I teach you who you need to be at the subconscious identity level in order to show up to pitch like you need to pitch to get the outcomes that you want, meaning top bonuses. For most of you, I'm sure that it's top bonus or higher, and to then be consistent month after month. Every single day is a different theme. And man, why is it that we have people coming back month after month after month? Because it works. Because it works. Why is it that we have top 1%ers who are like, holy cow, this changed my world? Because it works. So you get to choose. Do you want to participate and join us in the challenge to the top? And it's not a race against anybody else. So the word challenge is not about you get to compete with someone else. You get to compete with you. You get to create your all-time best month if you decide to, and choose to lean in and to completely and fully own the outcome that you want to create. And I will help you get there. And your comrades, and what do you call them? Your peeps in the community, in the other top bonus challengers like you, will help you get there as well. So Rockstars, join us at toplevelbonus.com. We pay you affiliate commissions per person that you bring in. It's pretty freaking awesome. We have cut checks for $300, $400. It's insane per person, by the way. So it's super exciting. And you will absolutely be happy that you did. So if you feel like you're not getting the training that you want, if you feel like your mindset's in the way, you may be a top 1% or a 0.00001%er. I keep saying we got to change our mastermind name. If you're there, but there's something here that's keeping you right now there, and maybe you're even already at top bonus and you want to double that or pile it on because this month matters for your year. Trust me when I tell you, you will be doing yourself a huge favor. So join us in the Top Bonus Challenge, guys. It's starting in just a short period of time. So go to toplevelbonus.com or click the Learn More button to enroll. And there's all kinds of videos and stuff in there and testimonials. You guys rock. You're amazing. Love you guys. See you. And tag somebody below who needs to hear this. All right, guys. Peace.